Okay, so now let's go through E and F. E says a shrinking labor force, and then again, what are we doing? We are linking to use the ADS model, okay? And I told you that it's basically everything here is going to be an AS thing lah. Okay, so let's start with a shrinking labor force. Okay, I'm going to tell you up front, we're going to shift it leftwards, and we're going to shift it upwards. Okay, so both things are going to happen, yeah? Okay, so let's begin. E, a shrinking labor force. Okay, maybe I'll talk a little bit about shrinking labor force, okay? What can lead to a shrinking labor force? Okay, the most common thing is actually an aging population. Okay, so aging population can lead to a shrinking labor force. Okay, why? Because many workers will reach the retirement age, okay, and leave the labor force, and therefore leave the labor force. Okay, and then what happens is that the number of people entering the labor force is less than the number of people leaving the labor force. So people like you, the number of people like you is going to be way less than the number of people, let's say for example like my parents, who are leaving the labor force. Okay, so many workers will leave will reach the retirement age, for example, and they start leaving the labor force, and the number of workers, okay, and the number, I think I better write in short form, and the number of workers, just because of shrinking birth cohorts lah, right? So the number of workers entering labor force, the labor force is less than the number of workers leaving. So that's how you get a shrinking labor force. Okay, so two things happen as a result. One is that you have a decrease in the supply of labor. Okay, and the quantity of labor as a factor of production. Okay, so what this means is that as the quantity of resources decreases, the economy is now able to produce less. Is now able to produce less goods and services. And so again, use the keyword here. So productive capacity shrinks. And what this means is, on the vertical, AS shifts left. Okay, so that's the leftward kind of shift. Then when there's a decrease in the supply of labor, another thing happens that if you assume but let's not assume this here. If supply decreases, what happens is that wages of workers, they tend to rise, right? So supply decrease, wages is the equilibrium, is the price of labor, so wages will rise, okay, will increase. Okay, so now we're going to assume critically that assuming productivity remains constant, is constant, labor productivity I mean, okay, so labor productivity remains constant, then the unit cost of production will increase. Okay, so the unit cost of production increases, then the horizontal AS shifts upwards. So again, in class I mentioned about this green color paragraph. You insert the green paragraph here. Okay, so again, what does the green paragraph say? It says that firms are they are only willing and able to produce, so only willing and able to produce the same output at higher price. And so the horizontal, switch it back to black, so the horizontal AS shifts upward. Okay, because again the cost of production increases. So we have a situation where it shifts left and up, so we get a diagram that looks like this. Okay, where you shift it this way, AS0 is here, AS1 is here, then just get your P's and your Y's out. Okay, so this is what an aging population does to you, which is the reason why a lot of governments are very worried about it. Okay, where the number of workers what's the question actually? Oh, shrinking labor force, yeah. So they can cause, most likely it's caused by an aging population lah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So that's for part E. Okay. Next, part F. Let's switch color. So part F says liberal immigration policies result in an influx of low-skilled foreign labor. Okay, folks, it's just the opposite of this, of E. Okay, so what you will not do is that the liberal immigration policies is going to lead to an increase in the supply of labor. And then you just flip everything. Okay, I'm going to repeat that, okay? So in case that you feel that I'm like cheating you or something, it's the same thing, right? So liberal immigration policy will mean so you don't write any of this, right? The liberal immigration policy is not going to be an aging population, so you don't write any of that. But it is, so it's not going to decrease labor supply, it's going to increase it, right? So you got more factors of production, then productive capacity expands. Just flip the arrow. Okay, then change to left to right. And then do the same to the stuff here. Can you see that? I guess you can tell yourself to flip now. Just flip this set of words. Okay? So I'm not gonna go through this. But very, very thoroughly, okay? And sort of like this whole portion here. This whole portion here. It's just you just flip it, okay? Yeah, so this portion just flip it. So let's talk a little bit about this. How are case studies tested? How you test this liberal immigration policy thing? So I'm going to give you a bit of context, okay? So I'm going to talk a little bit about the liberal immigration policy. Do we have that? So in Singapore, right? We have we have work passes. Okay. So I think if I'm not wrong, you gotta go, I think it should be right, okay, but I may be wrong. The lowest sort of tier would be the work permits. So these are workers who have who are earning wages lower than a certain amount. So you're talking about, for example, things like the construction industry, where you pay the foreign workers that you hire a very, very low wage. Okay, then we have the S passes. Okay, S passes will be slightly more skilled. So you were looking. I'll just put it. So this is the construction industry. These S passes are, you need to pay them a little bit more. So I think it's probably retail. Foreign workers who work in the retail industry. Okay, I'm not sure whether it includes professionals. I'm actually not very sure. Okay, but in any case, this is how you want to add context to your elaboration, so that your elaboration is not so dry. So for E, I added aging population. For the liberal immigration policies, I can say that Singapore may be increasing the number of work permits and S passes that's granted to foreign individuals. Okay, then this will increase the supply of labor and increase the quantity of labor, and then you elaborate from there. Okay, so I won't, no point me rewriting all of this. Yeah, okay, so it's just E, but in sort of opposite direction. And if they want to test you in case studies, they can use Singapore and tell you about the different immigration policies that we have. Okay, yeah, yeah, that's for E and F.